Welcome back to the Storm Crow Show. My name is Josh.
And I'm Brady.
And today we're talking about something. Brady, what are we talking about again?
We are going to be recapping episodes 5 and 6 of Volume 5 of RWBY.
Okay.
And also possibly some brief spoilers of episode 7.
That's right. We are going to talk about it, even though it's not on YouTube yet. It's because it kind of confirms some stuff we want to talk about anyways. But we will make it clear on the screen that there will be spoilers, and we'll make sure that if you haven't seen it and you don't want anything spoiled, so that way you will know when to stop listening, like you can hit mute or something, and then we'll indicate when we can start talking about stuff, and we'll stop talking about episode 7. Fair enough?
Awesome.
All right, cool. Brady, give us, what do we know about what happened with episode 5?
Yeah, so in episode 5, we flash back to Blake and Sun, and they are going out on the recruiting mission throughout Menagerie to see how many faunists they can get to back them up to go protect Haven. And, well, the results are less than what they expected. In other words, they didn't get anybody to help them.
Yeah.
And from there, they kind of have a talk about the importance of being earnest. And the fact that, well, Blake is comparing words, and Sun turns out to probably represent the word earnest.
Yep.
So, which I think is fair considering his entire attitude throughout the entire show so far.
Yeah,
he's always been a very earnest character.
That's true.
Even when Blake especially didn't want it.
True.
So from there, they flash over to Haven Academy, where Oscar and RWBY have a conversation, and it's kind of like one of those conversations, kind of similar to what they talked about in Volume 4.
Yeah.
Which is, how do we deal with all this stress that, people are trying to kill us, that, things are really heading south in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they've lost friends.
They've lost friends. How do we deal with all this? And, RWBY gives, a really heartfelt answer in that, they lost Pyrrha and they lost Penny, both of which I'm pretty sure are going to be coming back in one form or another.
Stay tuned for that theory, folks. Oh, wait, we've already talked about... Well, we talked about the Pyrrha one, but...
Yeah,
we have a Penny theory. We should have a Penny theory.
Yeah, we should. I mean, that one, though, feels like way more likely, being that they probably have her memory backed up on a database somewhere.
There's our theory, folks.
Perfect. Anyways, yeah, it's going to happen. But, RWBY just kind of talks about it, and she's like, if I had been the one that died,
yeah,
Pyrrha and Penny would have still been fighting. They wouldn't have given up just because I had died.
Right. And
RWBY's kind of taking that on the reverse, which is, since I'm the one alive, I feel an obligation to fight. Yeah. And it was kind of cool. And then it flashes over to Ilya talking with the members of the White Fang, who I'm honestly, I can't remember the names of these guys.
Horus and Finnick, I think. I mean, Finnick refers to a Finnick fox.
Oh, okay.
And I think Horus... I'd have to see how it's spelled.
Yeah, I don't know. But the two creepy guys.
That look like foxes.
Yeah. Anyways...
emphasize that they're just... The point is they're weirdos.
Yeah, so... Yeah. And this is where the title comes in. It's the necessary sacrifice, which is basically... They charge Ilya with the task of taking down the Belladonna family. Yep. And here's my big theory for the week. Mr. and Mrs. Belladonna, they are hosed. They are going to die in this show. And unlike a lot of the other characters, they're not going to come back. They are going to be dead. And, okay. And it's going to be all sad, Blake's going to turn to Sun, and her home's going to be in flames, her parents are going to be dead, and she's going to, have lost her best friend, and, she's going to turn to Sun, and she's like, there's nothing left for me here. I want to learn the Force and become a Jedi like my father. Wait a minute, that's not the line, is it? Anyways, it's going to be really sad. There will probably be some sad music, hopefully written by John Williams. But we'll see.
Well, we're going to Casey Lee Williams, maybe at least.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll probably get Casey Lee Williams.
All right.
So, yeah, Josh, tell us about...
Or Jeff Williams, I guess.
Or Jeff Williams, yeah. So, why don't you tell us about episode 6?
All right.
I'm done rambling.
I ramble all the time. Remember, I'm the one who cried about a hammer exploding.
Okay, sure.
All right, so going back to, I was going to say Menagerie, but no, Mistral. Crow is, of course, going on his own recruiting mission, trying to get various huntsmen of lesser repute to, gather them up so that they can defend Haven Academy. And like Blake and Son, is highly unsuccessful. It's they're all on missions. Actually, it's bizarre in his mind. It's like crazy that there's just no one able to do anything, or no one's around to help. It just doesn't make any sense to Crow. So he's very frustrated, and he's just trying to figure out what's going on. I don't actually have a comment about that, sort of a theory. Going on to, but then it flashes back to Weiss and Yang with Raven. And of course, they're talking about what happened. Raven's giving a background story, right? She's just explaining a lot of information that we know as the audience, or at least alluding to it. The ability to, magic, the maidens, all of that. She gives all that sort of background, or at least, hints at it. But the one piece of information we didn't know for certain, and that she shows Yang and Weiss, is that Ozpin turned both Crow and Raven into birds. Now, we knew Crow, or at least we pretty much more or less confirmed that Crow could do it. We thought Raven could. There was some good discussion, we at least when we talked to some of our friends, and we kind of concluded that was correct, but we couldn't prove it. But now it's confirmed, and it's confirmed it came from Ozpin. It's not a semblance thing. Of course, Yang and Weiss are just shocked, but in the end, Raven lets them decide, do you want to stay or do you want to go? They go through the portal, motorcycle and all. It was actually kind of... that was kind of funny. I was like, are they going to take the motorcycle with them? And I was wondering about that. And yes, they took the motorcycle with them. No. I was surprised, actually, that sort of detail was going to work out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they appear where Crow is, who is currently trying to figure out where all the huntsmen are that he was looking for. And he gets Yang and Weiss, which probably in his mind is probably a better deal. It's been an improvement to his day, at least, right?
Yeah.
And then we have a tender scene where RWBY and Yang meet up since season 3, actually. And we knew that there was some tension between them, but and RWBY starts actually kind of like crying because she feels so bad about like all the tension between them, and Yang just runs up and gives her a hug, basically, and then they both hug Weiss. And we have this tender scene where they're all hugging each other because, Team RWBY is almost back. We're actually right now Team RWBY. Yes, Team RWBY. We're missing Blake.
Yep.
Which raises a question. Will Blake get the same treatment? Because we know that the tension between Yang and Blake is very high at the end of season 3. Because Yang's actually really sad, but is really depressed about Blake and thinks that Blake just abandoned them. So I'm kind of curious if there's going to be are they going to have that complete hug? They're kind of alluding to it, so I think the answer is yes, ultimately. But it might not be without some additional tension before it gets to that point.
Yeah, no, definitely. And there is one more question to tack onto that.
Yes.
That I must bring up.
Okay.
Is, will Crow ever be in the group hug? I know he's not a part of Team RWBY, but I mean...
So there's this part of me that thinks that might cause like a random tsunami to appear in the middle of Vale or something like that for no reason except for that Crow's bad luck just triggered on a cataclysmic scale.
Yeah, and they're all sitting here in Haven going, yeah, that was a terrible idea. We're never doing this again.
Actually, they're over in Haven. They're like, oh, that had to be Crow. Why? There's no reason for a random tsunami to show up in the middle of Haven.
Yeah.
Maybe there is. I mean, you never know. They are by the sea.
Yeah, that's true. It could happen.
My other quick theory I want to comment, about this. All of them are gone. All those other huntsmen are gone. It makes no sense. That suggests that Lionheart has literally been trying to get everyone out of the kingdom.
Okay.
We know Lionheart has kind of, at least somewhat, betrayed the group, right? And they suspect there's a problem. But we know how bad the problem is. They don't know how bad it is. So that's why Crow's so puzzled. That means Lionheart has been probably trying to get all the huntsmen out of the kingdom. I don't know if he's not necessarily get them killed or anything, but simply get them out of the kingdom to leave it wide open to an attack.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
Yeah, because they didn't explain it there. And with that, we're going to talk about episode 7 now, right?
Yep. So, spoiler warning.
Okay, yep. Spoiler warning. We'll discuss it real quick. And then, we can hit mute at this point. And like I said, we'll put on there, I can say you may now turn your volume back on or some indicator so you'll know. So if you don't want it spoiled, you don't have to, worry about that. And, Brady, what is the big news bomb that actually we suspected for a while?
Yes. So Ozpin, in his in a former self, was the wizard that gave the original 4 maidens their powers.
Yep.
And I mean, a lot of people had this theory. We got this theory from some friends. We kind of thought about it, looked for clues. And I'm just going to say, though, it feels so good right now to actually have predicted something about this show and actually come out right. 100% right.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that feels really good right now.
Yeah, dear and dear to your heart.
Very.
All right, so I guess a quick comment about episode 7. we won't recap it too much here. And if you're wondering why we haven't put any screenshots up again, so we don't spoil anything for anybody who doesn't want it spoiled right away. So you get to listen to our beautiful voices and just use your imagination instead.
There you go.
Yeah. Why did I say that all of a sudden? The other thing I just should comment on at the end of episode 7, I guess I'd say chapters, but I'm just going to say episode 7. Their comment is very interesting. I'm sorry. Okay, couple things. One, they point out the fact that Yang's really upset about Ozpin for not telling them the full truth. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, okay, we'll tell you the full truth. I understand. You're risking your lives. It's interesting, though, because Salem did the same exact thing to Cinder when she's like, yeah, how did the Silver-Eyed Warrior just completely blow Cinder apart? And the answer is...
Oh, yeah, I didn't exactly tell you about that beforehand, did I?
Yeah, it's because of the minute. That would have been great information to know, just in case.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, maybe she thought Cinder was going to back out or something. I don't know, but
or maybe she just thought they just didn't exist. I don't know. But that being said, it's just interesting that both of those characters did the same thing. Though I understand why Ozpin did it in some ways, because sometimes certain pieces of information, like the ability to turn people into crows is who's in. I mean, how much business is that of yours, really? In some ways, right?
Yeah.
The other factor, and I think we should mention this, is Emerald and Mercury both show up for the first time in the show for for volume 5. But Emerald for the first time shows up, period.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that she wasn't in the intro.
Yep, but Mercury was.
Yeah, so Josh and I were trying to figure out what was going on there, so...
Yeah, I thought maybe she was eaten by a Grimm or something, so... I mean, she might be later, but, I mean...
Yeah, you never know.
It's like, you disobeyed me for the last time. Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Yeah, wow. Okay. That just got a lot more...
They were really dark.
The visual images in my mind were just like, oh, that's... Oh.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching.
Oh, hold on. I gotta put the little screen... No, actually, I have to do that afterwards. I have to edit first.
Yeah, okay. So, thank you so much for watching. Your support means a lot to us. Please like and share and subscribe.
And let other people know about it. Discuss it. Let us know what you want us to talk about. In either case, my name is Josh.
And I'm Brady.
And this has been The Storm Crow Show. Have a great day.